Welcome once again, one and all, to another episode of the Chelsea FC Save with me, Frew FM. Today we've got two games against FC Basel in the Europa League, last 32, to get stuck into, so let's do it. So we pick up pretty much straight from where we left off, really. Obviously we've played no games in between. The last game was that 0-0 draw against Tottenham, where we had Nabil Fekir sent off in the 13th minute. But we still managed to pull out a decent result, get a clean sheet, so it doesn't leave us in too bad a position in the Premier League. So we'll get into these games against Basel. So as you can see, we're going to go with a heavily rotated team for this game away against Basel in Switzerland. So we're playing at the quite famous St Jakob Park in Basel. So I'll be hoping to get a couple of away goals. Really, we should be beating Basel. We know this, but saying it and doing it's two different things. So we need to show a good performance here and get a couple of away goals really to seal the second leg and get into the last 16. So we've gone with Fernando Torres up front because he's scored quite a few goals in the Europa League this season. He's got 5 in 6. Hopefully he can continue his good form before he retires for us this season in the Europa League. So let's get into it. Submit the team. So they've gone with a classic 4-4-2 formation with Thomas Vaclik in goal, who's actually just moved to Sevilla in real life, so I know he's obviously a pretty good goalkeeper. 4-4-2 is about as classic as it gets, isn't it? So they've got the former Sunderland striker Ji Dong-won on the left-hand side there. A couple of other names I recognise there, so Luka Zufi and Zdravko Kuzmanovic, who used to be a Fiorentina player. And has been about quite a bit in Italy and the such like, played for Inter at one point. Ricky van Wolfswinkel up top, who Norwich fans will remember not so fondly, and Rodrigo Mora, who I remember because I had him on a FIFA save once. So we've told the team to prove a point. They've reacted well to it. Let's get into it. We'll send the assistant to that. And St Jakob Park was pretty magnificent, I might have to say. As Basel get us underway, and it is Mora who gets us underway, and he's Bade. Passing it to Morganella. So like I say, I mean, hopefully we can get a couple of away goals to our name as Zdravko Kuzmanovic picks up an early injury and that is Ait Benasser comes on for him. 20 minutes gone, we really haven't created anything as Vaclik has a goal kick, goes short. Lustenberger, Zufi, G on this left hand side for Zufi. I always remember G for that goal against Manchester City that Martin Tyler loved. Here's Ricky van Wolfswinkel and Mora, and it's 1-0 to Basel. We haven't started well here at all, as Ricky van Wolfswinkel squares for Rodrigo Mora to tap home. So as you can see, G just plays the ball into the channel, and David Luiz just doesn't go with him. Zuma tries to come across, leaves Mora unmarked, and it's 1-0 to Basel. So we've got a throw in the opposition half as Petretta cuts it out though, and here's van Wolfswinkel cut out by Zuma. Now Zappacosta from right back into Jorginho. Jorginho plays today because of the injury to Cesc Fabregas, who would be playing usually in the Europa League fixtures. But here's Tini, swings one in, back post. Willian is the post with a header from quite a range. So Tini now with the throw in, Loftus-Cheek into Denis Suarez, Ross Barkley. Can we create something? We haven't created much in this first half, but here comes Loftus-Cheek again. Barkley sprays out to Tini on the left-hand side. Loftus-Cheek inside again. It's nice short passing, but can we be a bit more incisive? Torres, Willian, and he's got that away goal. That's a vital away goal against Basel here. Come on, boys. So approaching half-time, it's 1-1. We have started to come into the game a little bit more, but still a little bit disappointed with our performance overall, as the whistle does go for half-time. Basel 1, Chelsea 1, tightly contested game. We have started to step things up as the half's gone on, so we'll try and press on in the second half. And I'm actually going to tell the team that it was a disappointing performance. They looked fired up. So Torres gets us underway for the second half. Kieran Tierney from left back now. Yeah, we certainly have stepped things up, but whether Basel will come again in the second half, we'll have to be seen. But gives it to our main man on the right hand side there, Willian. Barkley back to Loftus-Cheek, and Fernando Torres is in. Whew. Fernando Torres puts it wide. 58 minutes gone then. There's a highlight here, it looks like, for Basel as G comes forward with it. Back to Zufi. G again, who's caused us problems on that right hand side all day. David Luiz heads away. Zufi again. G don't want. David Luiz once again away, and Barkley. And can we break? Here's Willian. Loftus-Cheek. Obviously Torres hasn't got the pace to really break quickly, so Loftus-Cheek plays it to Barkley. There's that triangle again. Loftus-Cheek, good ball, Torres, and it's Fernando Torres again doing what he does best in the Europa League. It's 2-1, get in. You see that triangle working its magic again between Loftus-Cheek, Jorginho and Barkley. And Loftus-Cheek just finds a nice ball for Torres, who doesn't need pace. He just finds little bits of space with his experience, gets into it, drives into it, left-footed finish, 2-1. I'm going to stick with what we've got for now, as there's another highlight. Courtois just bangs it up the pitch as Denis Suarez comes away with it now. Is he going to shoot? No. Passes it wide to Zappacosta now. Jorginho. Willian. Hit away by Petretta. It's a good tackle, but Chelsea recycle possession, and here's Barkley. Willian now across. Torres again! Oh, that should have been 3, and it should have been a brace for Fernando Torres. 70 minutes gone. We're just going to make a sub and get. We're actually going to get Nabil Fekir on for Loftus-Cheek. So still 2-1 then. I mean, 2-1 would be a good result. We've got that away goal. We'll have to score 2 goals at Stamford Bridge, which, to be honest, I can't really see happening. We're just going to get David Luiz off so that he doesn't get himself banned. Gary Cahill comes on for him, and Barkley can come off for Kante. Yeah, 2-1 heading into full time, as there's 3 minutes of added time. So 2-1 then, we take a 1-goal lead into the second leg, which we'll get into as soon as we can. And we'll just say, that was a good win, boys. Well done. Away in Switzerland, not so shabby. Righty-ho then. So we're back for the Basel game, second leg at Stamford Bridge. Take a 2-1 lead into the second leg here with the vital 2 away goals. We're obviously quite heavy favourites to get through to the next stage. So a little bit of news to catch up on before we do progress. The game in between against Middlesbrough in the FA Cup, we won 3-1. It wasn't as comfortable as the scoreline suggests. We went behind after some sloppy defending from David Luiz. Sorry, it wasn't David Luiz because he wasn't playing. It was Cesar Azpilicueta, and he actually got a really poor rating in this game. He wasn't at the races at all. So Grant Ledbetter took the pen and scored, but we came back and we did get through the game. Fernando Torres has scored again, and Tammy Abraham got himself on the score sheet, so that's nice. Now let's go and defeat Basel, shall we? So this is the team we're going to go with today. Obviously we do some rotation for the Europa League, so we're going to go with Tini, David Luiz, Kurt Zouma and Zappacosta at the back, with Courtois in goal after we chose not to register Pepe Reina for the next stages. Jorginho in his usual role. Kante as the Mazzala alongside Loftus-Cheek, giving Barkley a rest. Going to stick with Tammy Abraham on the right wing, just to give Willian a rest, and also because he scored in the last game against Middlesbrough, and we're going to go with Denis Suarez on the left hand side, who's been fairly decent since he came in from Barcelona for 11.5 million, and then Fernando Torres as the advanced forward, who's scored in his last 2 games and is just basically a machine in the Europa League. So they have actually changed the formation slightly from the first leg. So they were going classic 4-4-2 for the first leg, but they've actually gone this time for a 4-2-2-2 formation. Very narrow indeed. If we can get the wing backs working and Tammy Abraham on the right hand side doing a bit of magic, then we should be fine. I think we will be fine in this game. We should sail through pretty easily. But let's get into it and see what happens. So the 2 teams walk out then, obviously Chelsea in the blue, Basel in the white, and Basel, let's get us underway today. Something I was going to ask actually, I was going to ask a question to anyone who's viewing, really, anybody who likes Football Manager. Just how do you do your scouting? How do you find good players? How do you find those players that you can pick up for really cheap and they just go on to be like world-class players? I mean, I know the way that I do it's very laboursome, and I know quite a few other Football Manager YouTubers do it. As we've gone through basically the first half without a highlight, as I've been talking away, but yeah, I know quite a lot of Football Manager YouTubers actually just go through the youth teams of several national teams as Torres heads over the bar. We've had 12 shots and none on target. That's worrying now. 13. Must be very long shots. This narrow formation, and what we're going to do in the second half, because I did sort of a bit of a premonition of this. We're just going to take it off, exploit the middle, and we're going to get look for the overlap on, and change these guys up to wing backs on support. Actually, we might as well go attack, and just get Tammy Abraham is inside forward as well. Actually, he can go as a Raumdeuter. A Raumdeuter, good old Raumdeuter, do this as well. So I'll take that off and look for the overlap. Just to play a bit wider, just to get Zappacosta and Tini involved a bit more, really. Okay, so let's say that the performance wasn't good enough. I am not happy with your performance out there, boys. They look fired up off that. They always do. Start the second half. Torres gets us underway again. Yeah, so I mean, like I say, I scour the European nations youth teams for regens, but that takes a lot of time. I was just wondering if there's a way that you could get it so that the scouts themselves can do it actually, like more organically. It kind of seems a bit like almost, it's not cheating, but I mean it's not like almost a natural way. You wouldn't do that in real life, would you? I mean, you probably do look at them, but they wouldn't have just a team sheet that you could go and look at, like, you know, Football Manager. And obviously it is a game and it's not completely realistic, but you know, you do want that element of realism. But we've got a highlight 3 minutes into the second half, and it might well be that Kieran Tierney can work these sides as he's doing right now, and whips one in. There's Torres, Suarez again, and Tierney's got loads of space once again with this narrow Basel formation. Here's Tammy Abraham, Kante, there's Zappacosta on this right hand side, got Akers, Abraham, Loftus-Cheek, and it's 1-0 to Chelsea, 3-1 on aggregate. Loftus-Cheek continues his good goal scoring form in the Europa League, and we are golden. Yeah, so Kante just drives it to Zappacosta, who finds Abraham in a bit of space in the box. It's a nice little ball. Abraham with a really good pullback. Loftus-Cheek on his left peg. Bish bash bosh. So our first shot on target actually goes in the back of the net, which is interesting. As Denis Suarez whips in a free kick. And there's Fernando Torres, which it looks like David Luiz has headed that down to him. But Fernando Torres, that's like his 11th goal of the season, and that's not that far behind Alvaro Morata. He just powered it home. It was a really nice knockdown from David Luiz. But we've been much better in the second half. I think it's obviously with the wing backs with this narrow formation. As David Luiz now knocks one in. Is Abraham, and that was a really good chance for Denis Suarez, which is spurned. Yeah, Fernando Torres he's been brilliant. I can't really fault his performances, to be honest. We're just going to get Tammy Abraham off because he's looking a bit tired, and we'll get Pedro on. The little fakir might be able to come on. I'm going to stick with that. I'll bring Barkley on for Kante, and we'll stick with that. As 80 minutes have gone, it's been a very comfortable game. We've absolutely dominated start to finish. Obviously, after this game, just what's his highlight? So Loftus-Cheek, Pedro, David Luiz. David Luiz gets on the score sheet. It's a fantastic finish. We all know David Luiz has got that in his locker for a centre back. He might as well be a midfielder or a striker. He's just got that technical ability, hasn't he? So Loftus-Cheek plays it into Pedro, who's only just come on himself. Places a nice ball into Luiz, who just smashes it in the top corner, and it's 3-0, 5-1 on aggregate. It's been very comfortable. Obviously, after this game, we will do the draw as Basel now come forward. That was panicky from Tini, to say the least. David Luiz now, Torres running into a corner. Barkley, and Ross Barkley again. He's another substitute that's only just come on, but Ross Barkley has scored a lot of goals this season, far more than N'Golo Kante from the same role. Obviously, Ross Barkley's much more attack-minded, and that's what kind of benefits the Mazzala, is the dribbling ability and almost like an inside winger, really. So yeah, Barkley relishing that role. Yeah, we will show you the draw after this. Hopefully we should get a decent draw. We've got Crystal Palace at home in the next round of the FA Cup, which is quite a nice draw. So we've been afforded an easier draw. I think Manchester City and Arsenal are still in the draw, so we've managed to avoid one of the big boys for now. As Basel seem to be just playing against our players like pinball. Kessler to Lustenberger, Oosterwalde over for Ricky van Wolfswinkel, and that is a wayward finish, Norwich fans. Yeah, but it's been a very comfortable game. It's been a very, very comfortable 2 legs, and overall, it's made for a very pleasant episode. But no, we'll come back and we will have much more challenging games. The last episode before this was very challenging. Obviously, we lost against Manchester United and drew against Tottenham. Go and give it a watch if you haven't. But that was much more difficult than these 2 games against Basel. The draw is going to be probably the most interesting part of this. Let's get on with it. Just as we were doing that, we've actually just got a new intake of youth players, which is always interesting. Let's have a look at what it says. So we've got every reason to be excited by Liam Stewart, who has the potential to be one of the most gifted players to come through the youth ranks at Chelsea in recent years. Let's have a look how good he is then. Okay, so he's okay. I mean, what you've got to kind of remember is that these players are measured against Chelsea players, so that 4-star potential is that's like top class Premier League level. Centre back marking is very low. So like 6'3", decent pace, decent strength, decent determination. Positioning's okay. He's going to need a lot of work, but 12 heading's quite nice. Good jump, decent jump and reach. Which, I mean, he's 15. He'll probably grow. All of his physicals will improve. His mentals will improve along with that. It'd just be that work on that intensive work on the marking. So anybody else with potential? We've got Yakubu Omolade, who was probably Nigerian as well, isn't he? Yes, he is. Knowledge bombs. So Yakubu Omolade is a left winger with low tackling and marking. I don't like this position. I mean, obviously he's decent. He's just not fast enough really to excite me. But he's got good cross and good dribbling, some good technicals in there. Some poor technicals as well, like first touch and passing is quite low. But they will grow, and we'll just see how things progress really. And the only one probably is worth looking at as well is Connor Jenkins. Now he looks okay actually as a striker. He's got, I mean, his first touch is very poor, but he's got good pace. He's probably classic poacher material really. 12 finishing, 12 dribbling, 11 crossing, not too bad. So I wasn't expecting to do an announcement of youth intake players there, but you know, it's the 1st of March, it's regen season. So this here is actually one of my favourite screens, and I don't know how other people feel about it. I love the one at the end of the season where it says who's improving things, but it shows you actually who's improving quite a lot in terms of impressive performances in training. So Denis Suarez is improving quite a bit. We've got Mark Gahey. I mean, look at this. This is excellent, promising centre-back. Smashing physicals for an 18-year-old. They can only improve. 10 tackling, 11 marking, 10 heading. If they were all 13s, I'd probably use him as a backup, to be honest. He'd be decent, you know, and if his passing was a little bit better. Some of these mentals need work as well, but he's decent. Yeah. Then we've got the lad, Johnny Panzo, the left-back / centre-back, who's probably more of a left-back, really, but with that 12 crossing ability, but his dribbling and whatnot lacks a little bit. 9 finishing for a left-back is quite high, and a centre-back, but cracking physicals on this young lad. Cracking physicals. Sounds kind of weird, doesn't it, when you say it like that? So here we go. The Euro Cup, aka Europa League, second knockout round draw is made today. Let's see who we've got in the draw. 16 teams left to draw. So we have got Monaco, Dortmund, the likes of Tottenham are still in. I don't think we can get Tottenham at this stage, although I'm not sure we might be able to. Got a few Spanish teams in there. Anybody we want to avoid? Probably Monaco and Dortmund at this stage I'd want to avoid. I feel like the only team really in there who are a major threat to us in terms of knocking us out of the Europa League are Tottenham, really. You look at the likes of Sevilla, Torino, Valencia, we should be beating all of those, really. Monaco and Dortmund are probably the two as well, aside from Tottenham. So let's get into this draw then. Boom, Monaco, right, we don't want Monaco. They've got Hertha Berlin of Germany. Porto, still it'd be a tough draw, Porto. They've got Lyon. Torino, I'd take Torino. So same nation teams can actually get each other in this round. So Torino and Lazio, an all-Italian affair. Who next? So it's us. Ooh, right. We don't want Dortmund and we don't want Tottenham. Oh, we've got Tottenham. We've got Tottenham, boys. We have got Tottenham. Well, now then. That's going to be a tough old ask, is that. I feel like we take them at home, but away, it's going to be very tight. It is going to be very tight. The two best teams in the Premier League this season so far. So I think what we will do is, if you join us again for the Europa League second knockout round, the round of 16, 2 ties against Tottenham. I think that's what I'll come back for. The 2 games in between, I'll play behind the scenes against Leicester and Stoke. Get us moved on with the Premier League a little bit. Play the game in between, off camera, between us and Watford. Just crack on, really. I feel like this episode's been much more casual than the last couple of episodes. I feel like as I'm starting to do more videos, I'm starting to become more relaxed. So Do let me know if this kind of more relaxed approach to the videos is more something that you appreciate, or whether it's too relaxed, whether I need to you know, sort of tighten up on my editing and things like that. Just give me some general pointers if you could, please. That would be brilliant. But once again, thanks everyone for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please drop a like, comment or subscribe. I would be most humbled. I'd just like to point out that Jorginho has a 94% pass completion ratio. That is pretty damn good. Bye now!